I love 3D printing, and if you do too, you'll recognize this thing. A Benchy. It is the most popular benchmark test for your 3D printer to make sure all your settings are all good and everything. This is also the first Benchy I've ever printed. And that's another thing I love about 3D printing. The open source community. And with the Benchy being the most printed model of all time, naturally, there's going to be a bunch of remakes of it. So I found and downloaded a bunch of the weirdest and most unique Benchy models that I could find. But before we begin, obviously I missed a few hundred or so models of the Benchy. I was just focusing on the ones that I found the most unique and interesting. Also, a lot of these models, they're all down here, a lot of these models have a bunch of different versions of the same idea of them. Like if you search up, skeleton Benchy, you're gonna come up with a bunch of results from a bunch of different creators with slightly different versions. And if that's the case with any of these, what I ended up doing was picking either the first one that I found or the one that I thought was the most visually easy to see for you on camera, all the way over there. Also, naturally, every model that I'm going to be showing will be linked down in the description, as well as credited on the corner of the screen. With all of that out of the way, we have the High Detail Benchy. It's a little cute little fishing boat with a tiny little guy inside. Look at him. I'm honestly shocked that the fishing pole managed to print at all, because that is a tiny little line right there. The windows are a little bit wonky, but it's part of the charm. The next one is a little more messed up. A package opener. What did you think it was? Now, I don't know what kind of crappy little package you're opening with this thing, but that is way too flimsy for it. Do I have a package? Let me get a package. This is all I have. Let's see if I can open it with something that isn't even that sharp. Whoa. I gotta cut. I cut it. Hang on. Oh, it's all flaking apart. It's coming apart. I mean, it's serrated, so of course it's gonna cut, but that's not, whoa. Oh, I broke the tip. There you go. Can you see that? Yeah, this thing is not gonna cut a single package. It's cute, but no. All right, fine then. What about Trippy Benchy? It's just a little junk. It's okay. No? Doesn't strike your fancy? What about this thing? It's all... It also needed supports. I can't imagine why. I'm making... But if that doesn't trip your fancy, we got Terrain Assault Benchy. Capable of dealing the highest of destruction with massive cannons, navigating any terrain with very old spider legs. I'm done with this bit because I have a surprise for you. Bet you weren't expecting that. It's one of those anamorphic perspective things. It's all skewed. Now you'll never know which is which. All right, quick detour from Benchys to show off this really cool thing. It's a wave machine for your Benchy. Also, I know that there's meant to be another thing right here. But while I was setting up for this, something fell on it perfectly on the tiny little handle and it fucking broke. So that's great. It works fine though, it works great. But this is a wave machine for your Benchy. This thing was super simple to print and put together, was pretty straightforward. Build it. Only one of the waves, I think it was this one, needed supports, but I got away with not using it somehow. But look at it, look at how cool it is, ready? It's so cool, that's actually really fucking cool. Let's see it better on this camera. Look at it, look at that go. This thing is so hard to turn. The little handle turnkey can definitely be a little bit easier to move. Here, I want to try it with other one. What about the hyper detailed? What about the spiralized Benchy? Yeah, these are all really, really seaworthy apparently. They're all really good at navigating this. I also printed this entire thing without realizing that the little inside circles on the waves needed to rotate. I don't know how you don't realize that the entire print. Seems obvious now, but... So I had to spend some time breaking the Z-seams that just so happened to line up at exactly the same spot. It's my fault. I just started printing this entire thing without watching the build video or even looking at the models to see what they were beforehand. Next up, we have the realistic Benchy. It's a more modernized version of the Benchy, made to look like how it would look nowadays. The creator made 4 versions of this realistic Benchy, so I decided to print version 4 and version 2. They're also really tiny. And look at this. I mean, I get shrinkflation, but this is just too much. Can I put these on the wave machine? Look at their tiny things. You can put them both on it, ready? Both of these can fit on it. Perfect, they're fine. I think we're gonna need a bigger boat. Get it? Because this video is gonna be so bad. This one is cool. It's called 3 Perspective Benchy. If you hold it front facing or from top down, it spells out Benchy. And if you hold it to the side, it's still a Benchy. This is actually really cool. It's so well made. The supports for this were a little challenging to get to work, but I mean, they printed fine. I really like this one though. Next one, I don't like so much. It is also called the Crisp Benchy, I threw it across the room. Oh, it broke. It is also called a Cursed Benchy, kind of like this one that's all skewed, but it is definitely more deserving of that title. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It doesn't even sit upright. I don't know what to say about it. Just look. I mean, look at the model images. They look even worse. I printed this one with supports, and I genuinely could not figure out what was support material and what wasn't. This thing can't stay up for its life. Moving on. All right, let's take a break from whatever that was and show off this thing. It's just a normal bench. Yeah, so this is the Flexi Benchy. It has all sorts of moving parts right up in the middle of it. It's actually really cool, which surprisingly printed pretty well for me, given the fact that moving parts have not been printing very well on my printer recently, especially this kind of model with very, very small moving parts. I'll give an example of failed articulated parts in a little bit, but my printer is not that good with this stuff, so I'm shocked it worked out. It's still a little bit more stiff than it should be, especially around the front, but I can't knock the model. That's an issue with my printer that I'm working on. Next up is the Titanic Benchy, because it looks like the Titanic. Ignore the quality of it. My white filament is absolute crap. You can even see it a little bit on this thing. It's just, my white filament is not good. Man, sure it'd be a shame if it split in half right. Ow. How did you sink? The Sunken Benchy dash Titanic, as it's labeled, because if I can't sink it, I will print a Benchy that has already been broken in half. Oh, like the Titanic! Speaking of sinking, or not, this is the Yacht Benchy, and it says it in the title that it can float. So let's see. Alright, I haven't tried this yet, but let's see. Oh, look at that! Look at it, it's floating. I don't know how well you can see that. It's floating perfectly. It's a little bit low, but you know, whatever. Can the regular Benchy float? No. Immediately upside down. I wonder what else can float. Can I sink the Titanic again? Ah! I did it! You can't float, can you? Well, you float, but you don't. Wait, what about the realistic Benchies? Oh, one of them floats. There we go. Both of the realistic ones float. Again, they're like very slowly taking on water because of how low they are. But, oh, there it goes. Alright, anyways, I'm getting a little bit hungry. But what is this? A ramen noodle Benchy. Okay, so obviously this is meant to look like the little blocks of ramen that you can buy at the store and make ramen with. The interesting thing about this one though is that it's not an actual model. The creator just tells you what slicer settings to use on a normal Benchy model, and then you print it and pretend like your printer isn't dying trying to push twice the amount of filament out of a tiny nozzle. Now for this, I had to slow down the print quite a bit and bring the temperature up to like 235 degrees, which is great for PLA. And yet somehow the bottom section of it actually kind of printed, considering. If you ignore the skirt that got stuck to the Benchy, and I'm not gonna remove it. It adds to the charm. I mean, I can't tell the difference. Oh, I tried to fix it and I made it worse. Okay, before we move on to the last two benches that I want to show off, I have some honorable mentions that were either failed prints or I just decided not to print. With the first thing being the Benchy made of Benchys. For starters, there were 3 models that I was considering printing, but they all had issues. I wanted to print this one because each individual tiny Benchy is a lot more noticeable, but the other 2 actually looked more like a Benchy. Also, the bottom of this model is uneven, so you can't really flatten it, which could be fixed by just printing supports underneath it. And the pictures of this model looks kind of like the tiny Benchies were melting together, so it didn't look like each individual Benchy. And this Benchy, yeah, and my printer already hates me enough for trying to do the Ramen Benchy. Alright, next up was the Fidget Benchy. This is a Benchy that had a little button that you could click, the little rotors that you could like flip back and forth, which isn't working. And then on the little smokestack thing was meant to be like a clicker, I think, or like wobble around. But I broke it. And this is a good example of why I need to refine my articulated settings, because the moving parts got stuck together and I broke it trying to get them to work. It's a cool model though. For the last of the honorable mentions is the folding Benchy. Shit, really? This was a Benchy that you would print completely flat and then you could fold it together to make your own Benchy. Just fold it like that, which is super cool. You can like fold it together and then flatten it and, I don't know, put it in your pocket or something. But unfortunately, all of the pieces got stuck together, and when I was trying to fold them, they broke into about 1 billion pieces. So if anyone has some advice on making moving parts of a print-in-place model better, I'd love to help, because I need that. But these models are really cool. I just could not print them properly. I got lucky getting the wave machine to work, and with the Flexi Benchy, I got really lucky getting this to work. And I want to make it clear that I'm not knocking the models at all. These are all really cool, which is why I'm still talking about them in this video, even though I failed the prints. Speaking of failed prints, what about your worst Benchy? This is a model that showcases everything that could possibly go wrong during your print, like stringing, uneven layers, layer lines. Honestly, I think this is probably my favorite out of all of them. I just love this kind of stuff where you intentionally make the printing go wrong. Kind of like the I Love 3D Printing mug that I printed a while ago as a gift. It's also just really impressive how the modeler is able to make a model that forces the 3D printer to do certain things that are normally complete accidents, especially to make them look like they are accidents and not intentional parts of the model, which I don't even know how you do that, but it's cool. So I love this thing. And so you get to go on the wave. Look at that. It even performs the best. All right, and last but not least, the articulated Benchy that I actually could get to work really easily. I can't tell if it's trying to be like a snake or a train. I guess it's a boat, if you look at it that way. But it's cool. I don't have much to say about this one. It's cute. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I really just wanted to make a video about 3D printing, but I have absolutely no modeling skills of my own. So I was trying to find something that I could talk about, and this is what I decided on. I would honestly love to make more videos like this where I just go online and find a bunch of models that are interesting or cool and showcase them here, and talk about my experience printing them, talk about like how I feel about them, how they look, or just make jokes. If you want to see my other content that has absolutely nothing to do with 3D printing at all, hey, go for it. It's on my channel. I love the support, especially as I try and figure out what the hell I want to do with this channel, because I can't pick a theme. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again.